Kubor nakaslem jong unongsan Hima.
From our end, on behalf of our colleague and those who are present and colleagues in absence here, thank you for responding to our invitation. Today, we had the privilege to see again, and though we wanted to see yesterday because of various other circumstances which let our friends preoccupied, we decided to have the meeting today. We all are confronted by a very difficult situation. The state is going through a very difficult situation. We all were confronted by curfew, which was clamped, and we were not being able to communicate to each other because of the dislocation of communication. The internet is shut, so lots of problems. Today in the CLP, we dwelt at length on the prevailing situation which we are all witnessing, and overall situation which unfolded because of the government's lack of focus and failure to understand the priorities. On a number of occasions, you will appreciate and recollect, the opposition has tried to draw the attention of the government and tried to prevail upon the government, not just once, not just inside the house, but even outside the house. We have tried to convince the government to take cognizance of challenges which have been confronting the state. And also, particularly on the law and order front, how the peace that we have restored in the long run. We appreciate the fact that people from across the state extended their cooperation, were part of the whole exercise, collective exercise to restore peace in the state in the past. And this peace that we are talking about that has been restored didn't happen just like that. It's a hard-earned peace. Now we have always talked about restoring peace and normalcy because that is prerequisite for our development, progress and prosperity. Lack of development and anything that dislocates the progress and prosperity of the state will have a negative bearing on the state. Has lots of negative ramifications on the people of the state, particularly the youth. Because absence of opportunities, if no opportunities are in sight for the youth, then we're talking about the mind game, how human psychology is affected. We try to motivate the youth, encourage them to set their respective goal and respective agenda in life, set their ambition in life, and therefore the challenges of creating an enabling environment for allowing our youth to realize their full potentialities and achieve their dreams. That's a crucial responsibility of any government. And in absence of that, irrespective of where we are, like when we say we restore peace, with great difficulty, to sustain them becomes difficult. The vulnerability of our state of Meghalaya to slip back and be inflicted by problems of militancy and insurgent activities must be understood. We must understand the complexities associated with not just restoring peace and normalcy, but maintaining it and sustaining it. We were seeing it happening, that the peace that has been restored, the normalcy that has been restored and brought back, slipping back. Have we not warned the government number of times? Were we playing it to the gallery? No. We said we mean it, because the interest of the state, the larger good of the people must precede everything else and nothing else. Our agenda must revolve around how we can collectively look at fulfilling the aspirations of the people. And when peace becomes elusive, it's going to be very difficult. I want to express our collective concern today that the CLP had this collective concern that the government of the day is responsible in compromising the interests of the state because of shifting their priorities and ultimately putting the state in this kind of precarious situation. The state has gone to the dogs. Now it's the responsibility of each one of us, particularly the political parties who have their respective representatives in the August House, to come together and put our heads together, discuss, and see how we can save the state. We have to look at the interests of the people, the larger good of the people. The interest of the state precedes everything else. I have shared this concern and this message also, trying to reach out to our friends in other political parties in the state, who are part of the partners in the coalition government, the MDA government. Now we would like to therefore make a clarion call to all concerned, including the people of the state and the members representing the civil society organizations. To play productive and effective role in our bid to contribute to achieve the objective of saving the state. I am telling you, once again, I have told it earlier, on behalf of the CLP, on behalf of my colleagues and friends, on behalf of people who share the same concern, that if we don't act to ensure that there is a new dispensation who will be vested with the responsibility of governance, the destruction of the state will be completed. We will allow further deterioration of the situation. We will end up seeing the state inflicted with irreversible problems, the problems which will be difficult to be resolved. We are already late. I think the scene around us, what we have seen in the recent past until the Independence Day, only reflect about what we are talking. It actually just is just something which has, I must say, because of the circumstances, we were able to know what is happening. But the undercurrent, which was known to us, we have shared with the government. That's the reason why we say it. We were asking the government, the chief minister, who should be actually calling number of meetings, particularly the meeting of the State Security Commission. Why was it? It was not because we were trying to play to the gallery. No, we meant business. We knew what was happening. And I'm sure the Chief Minister should be knowing more than what we know. Because that is how the people who are in the helm of affairs of governance are expected to have access to all inputs, multiple inputs. And therefore, friends, it's a matter of concern for each one of us. Today, I'm afraid that if we allow this chalta hai attitude, the government with this chalta hai attitude to carry on, we will have a future that none of us would like to witness. A future where you will have lawlessness, a future where people will have no reason to find any hope. What is required today is to ensure that a ray of hope is made visible to the youth of the state, to the people of the state, to people belonging to all essence of this visible collective endeavor coming from all of us. And hope to fulfill the aspirations eluding the people will have serious negative ramifications in the future. We would like to condemn the manner in which the issue was handled, the manner in which the alleged fact encounter has taken place. Because this also has a very, I must say, serious ramification for the future of the state. Dealing with the problems of law and order, militancy, and insurgency is a very, I must say, it's a very challenging task. The problem itself is a complex problem. Therefore, you need a team which is completely focused, where the priority of dealing with these challenges cannot be superseded by other priorities. Today we have a situation where the government is there, but there is no governance. There is government, but there is no governance. We are surprised to see how the government tend to create a vacuum, a perceived vacuum, that the government tries to send a message that there is no home minister. We know who is the home minister, and we also saw from the media that the home minister wanted himself to be relieved from the portfolio of home police. That's all we know. But we don't know whether home portfolio, which was proposed or requested to be relieved from him, whether the chief minister has acceded and relieved him and vested the portfolio with himself, or to have allocated the portfolio to somebody else. As of now, we know that there has been no reshuffling of the portfolio, no reshuffling. But we are surprised that somebody is refusing to act. That means they want to shrug off the very important responsibility, the important responsibility of dealing with this crucial department, home police. This cannot be something which can be expected to be part of the narrative also. We don't expect this type of strategy adopted by people in government. Affairs of governance is not something which should be taken as, okay, if I want to do, I will do, if I don't want to do, I don't do. The call of duty, when they are in position, they also have the responsibility. The responsibility which should supersede everything else. So this is something which speaks volumes of the intent of the government of today. They want to push the responsibility from one another and try to escape themselves from the kind of responsibility. These are condemnable. These are not acceptable. They must take responsibility for everything. Everything that has happened. Even the failure to know that some subversive activities was going to happen. To prevent any instance of any IED blast. Yes, preventive measures. Only when it has gone beyond their capacity to handle, they woke up. They woke up. When somebody is in deep slumber and suddenly he wakes up, he doesn't know what was happening around. That's how human behavior works. That's why I used to tell sometimes when my PSO in the car is dozing off, I said, hello, if something happens on the road, you'll suddenly wake up and won't know what to do. So the government was caught while it was in deep slumber. So they didn't know how to handle the situation. Suddenly the Home Minister also finds it too hot and dropped it, and said, no, I don't want to handle it because it's too hot. This is how one wants to take responsibility of governing the state. Is it a joke? Friends, therefore, we must correct our way forward. We have to realign our thinking, which should revolve around protecting the interests of the state, which should revolve around assuming upon ourselves the responsibility of protecting the interests of the state, protecting the interests of the people, and do what is for the larger good of each and every member of the society, each and every citizen of the state. So these are our concerns. That has evolved out of our discussion. We would like to appeal to all the citizens of our beautiful state. Let us not allow the state to slip back. We have restored peace. We have brought back normalcy. There has been momentum of growth and development that has been generated over the preceding years. Though this has been dislocated as of now, it's our job to restore it. And it should be considered as the responsibility of each one of us. So today the CLP collectively appeal to all our beloved citizens to contribute in their respective capacities for restoring normalcy and restoring peace and sustaining the peace. I have always said restoration, which is an offshoot of a collective hard work, must be sustained. Therefore, sustaining it in the best interest of our children and grandchildren and the future generations should be our responsibility. So just because the government has messed up, we should not allow the state to suffer. We should not allow our people to suffer. What is required is only to correct. See, one thing is very important. We have demanded an independent inquiry. An independent inquiry which should enable us to have a complete transparency on the circumstances which led to that unfortunate incident. Now, when we are asking for an independent inquiry, that means we want the truth. And based on that, further course of action as per law must follow. Unfortunately, I have been following the news. The Chief Minister is already trying to influence the whole process of inquiry even before the notification to have that kind of independent inquiry. For that matter, a judicial inquiry has been notified. Nobody should try to influence the course of investigation if we want the truth to come out. We want the truth, based on which other course of action as per law should follow. The other micromanagement and other aspects, which is the job of the government, we will not dwell on this. Other micromanagement. Certain job which comes with the chair that they occupy, that means the responsibility which comes with the position, they must fulfill. There's a call of duty. And if they can't fulfill those responsibilities, if they don't know how to respond to the call of duty, then it's their job to quit. The state's interest precedes everything else, supersedes everything else. Nobody's interest should supersede the interest of the people.